Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn. I'm a life and business reinvention mentor at Success on Your Own Term, and I am the founder of this video show. Today I'm delighted to welcome Debbie Cameron. Through many trials and tribulations, Debbie has finally discovered the secrets to happiness, time, social and financial freedom. At 24, Debbie packed up her home and her kids in the UK to follow her heart to Mallorca in Spain. During the wildest years of her life, she owned nightclubs, restaurants and bars, and then in 1996, alongside her busy home life and work, she began building what has become two very successful direct sales and network marketing businesses. Today, it is all about multiple income streams. She works very closely as a family with her 3 grown-up kids and plays even harder at reaching out for her dreams and goals with them. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Debbie. How are you?
I'm really well. Thank you so much for inviting me onto the call this morning.
I'm delighted to have you. You and I have been in touch quite a few times already over the past few, weeks? Yes, weeks. And I've really been delighted to discover your story, but yes, the listeners don't know your story, so tell us more about it. How did it all started? Why did you do what you do?
I believe it probably goes back to my childhood. I was always running behind my father. He was a bit of a legend in the motor industry. Actually, he was more than a legend in the motor industry, and he was the most amazing father too.
That's great. And so what did your father teach you? Why have you been so inspired by him?
I suppose in my subconscious mind, which is really where everything starts for us, we sometimes don't quite realise what's going on in our subconscious mind. But these things are instilled in us really from, I suppose, the first memory we possibly ever have. And so I had parents that were a great example. So I was very blessed, very lucky at a very early age. Also, I had fantastic grandparents too. So that was really, really fantastic too. But my dad was a great example when it came to business. He was like a machine. You know, as I said, he was in the motor industry. And I remember as a little girl watching him being interviewed by Eamon Andrews on the television. And he predicted, he's a bit of a visionary as well, he predicted that British Leyland would go under when they did. 3 years prior to that happening.
Yeah.
And so right from a youngster, I was around a man that had a lot of vision. And I suppose I got a bit of that in my genes.
I was going to say something in the genes there.
Absolutely. So he was really my first mentor. So I'm a big believer about mentorship. You know, I like to receive mentorship and I like to give mentorship.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
Yeah, especially to young people. I mean, I'm a grandmother now, and I'm a grandmother 3 times, and there's another one soon. So if I do get a call while we're here on this interview, I will have to take it if it's my daughter.
And then we celebrate. So you're 24, you're living in the UK, you have 2 kids, and you decide to move to Spain. Why did you decide to move?
I just wanted freedom. To be quite honest with you, I'd just come out of a very bad relationship and marriage, and so I had to reinvent myself, and I decided to do that on an island which I loved, which was Mallorca. Mm-hmm. My parents had a holiday home here, so I was comfortable and felt and loved the island. I'd also met my future husband as well, so and together we had a little boy called Mark, who's my youngest. I have two daughters that are 34 and coming up 36 this December, and my son's 29. Mm-hmm. And love being here on the island. They all live here, all my grandchildren. So yeah, very blessed. I feel very blessed. But that's purely and simply because of the mentors I believe I've had in my life, starting with my father.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So mentorship for you is if we usually in the course of the interview I will start asking about do you have any tips, etc., but we can start immediately. You are definitely saying to people who want to go for their dreams that they need to have a mentor, from what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
if
I
not
mean,
more.
yeah, it's my number one tip. You know, I've always been a big believer. If you want to do something right, do it right or don't do it at all.
And so, deciding to move to Mallorca and setting up your business there, how did it start? What did you find challenging when you did that?
What did I find challenging? The first job I had here, or first business I had here, I was always an entrepreneur. I always kind of had the antennas up, you know. Sometimes it was like, put them down, you know, focus more. You know, sometimes we've got these antennas going and we're looking, and in fact, they've got 3 antennas up or 6 antennas up. So I kind of always encourage people, you know, focus more as well if you really want to get somewhere faster. You know, but what did I do to start with? I was a mum. I was a single mum at the time when I first came here to live, and I had 2 little tiny toddlers. One was just starting school. They were 2 and 3. The other I put into nursery just for a couple of hours in the morning, and I loved cooking. Absolutely adored cooking. So I was, I became one of the first cooks for one of the largest fun pubs called the Prince William down in Magaluf, which is kind of like the Brits, the young British youngsters. That's where they used to, all the teenagers go to the nightclubs and bars and restaurants. And I was used to cook fast food. That's what I used to do when I first came here, my first business here on the island.
So what I'm hearing, Debbie, is that your dream at that stage was to leave for Spain, but you did not have yet any idea of a specific business that you wanted to set up. You just started with something, and from there the ball started rolling. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely, yeah. I came over here and I lived in my parents' apartment for about 3 months, found myself a home. Got very settled in my home, and then thought, okay, it was about 3 months later, I thought to myself, what can I do? I need to earn extra income. You know, I didn't have to lead the lifestyle that I wanted, the income I wanted. So, okay, I'll start here. And that's where I started. And I soon realised that I was only going to get paid for my hours. I realised that linear income. You know, I thought, I had so much mentorship from my father, and saw what my father did. You know, I'd worked for him up until the age of 19 when I became, up until the age of 21 when I became pregnant, and worked for Dad. And I realised, you know, at that time he had 13 showrooms and was working with 27 franchises. He didn't have a lot of time, but he had lots of had an amazing lifestyle. So I kind of thought, I want to have lots of people working for me. I don't want to be working on my own. And plus, it's more fun when you're working with other people too.
Yeah, definitely. I love the notion of collaborating with others. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So with my husband to be, we were working in the nightclub business. So that's kind of the wild fun days that I had. It was during my time working in nightclubs, bars and restaurants.
And so at that stage, did you have the feeling that that was it, in the sense of what you wanted to achieve? Or were you just so much enjoying it that you did not even wonder if you wanted something else, because you were pretty young then? Or did you already have a feeling that you wanted something else also? That's the phone?
I know it's okay.
Oh, okay.
She'll phone me on my mobile.
Okay.
I think I've always been self-motivated, and I've always been driven. Yeah, always been driven. Yeah, always been driven.
So you mentioned the fact that your father was already having multiple streams of income, that he was working with a lot of people, that you were inspired by that. Were you already looking for something like that, or did that come much later?
That came a little later, not too much later. We had restaurants and we had a fun pub, which was fantastic. And then a friend of my ex-husband's invited us to take a look at a business he was running. And my my ex-husband was a bit of a showman, so he was great as being the front man, and I was kind of like the engine, which is great. You need that. You need different types of personalities in a business. So I was great at the organisation, administration, and he was great at being the front person. He was very good at presenting himself and promoting himself in public. So, and I suppose that comes from the years in the nightclub that he was in. Yeah. So yeah,
whether you were the front office and the back office.
Yeah, absolutely. He was the front office, I was the back office. Yeah, I was the money making machine. I was very, I think my background comes from accounting and banking. That was my first job. I worked in the merchant banks when I left college after a year. So it kind of goes back to that. I did the accounting administration. Didn't like it, hated it. Got out of the rat race very quickly. Hated all that commuting on the London Underground.
Yeah, I definitely can imagine. Well, the London Underground, I don't know that much yet. And I have my own business, so of course I'm free to travel when I want. But I definitely have experienced the same when I was living in Paris. Yes, absolutely. That is a part that I hated. So coming back to, because you do say in your biography that you have found the secrets to happiness and freedom. So tell us how you got there. What's the secret?
It's really strange because a few years back I wrote a book called, actually I've got the book in front of me. I wrote this book called Mind the Gap, the 5 Success Secrets from the London Underground.
Yeah, talking about the London Underground.
And I realised you can't do it on your own. First of all, you need a mentor, and then to build anything, you need a great team. So it's all about teamwork. It's like having a family, having a good family where you're all supporting each other, you're all there for each other. You're watching each other's backs. So and it's always good to have a best friend as well. I think in business, it's very lonely. I've been there. The journey's been quite a long journey. It's been a fun journey. It's been wild at times, colourful at other times. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole journey of my life. I don't think I would ever change a thing, actually, because it makes us the people that we end up being today. So going back to the book, I wrote this book on the London Underground, where I really first started having my first job. Commuting after I left college, hated school, left college, hated school, went off to college for a year so that I could learn administration, secretarial, accounting, and I suppose in business studies, what it would be today, known as today. My first job I got was because I had great speeds at shorthand typing and also accounting. I had very high marks in that and got a job in Moorgate in a merchant banks. Couldn't stand the commuting. I was 17, was a little bit wild. Dad had bought me a brand new car because I passed my driving test 2 weeks after my birthday, and I thought, I'm not going to do this commuting. I'm going down to Southend with my friends down all the clubs in Essex. That's where the Essex girl comes out in me, even though I was born in the East End of London. Anyway, that job didn't last very long, and I got a local job for a shipping company before I worked for Dad. So I was in distribution as well. So I knew a lot about shipping, distribution, accounting, and I realised later in life how these things came to serve me a lot, on the journey. On the journey to success, and it's an up and down. It's been a bit of a roller coaster too. There's been some good businesses, and there's been some bad businesses. There's been some good business partners, and there's been some amazing business partners. And there's been some bad ones too. Yeah, we all have our ups and downs and challenges. There's been some heartache. There's been some trauma on the journey too. But I'm going a bit off track now, so let's get back on track where we were.
We'll get you back on track.
Yeah, absolutely. The keys to success is what I wrote about. And the first key to success is minding the gaps. Making sure that sometimes we put principles before our personality. You know, if you've got a big, larger than life character or personality, or you're married to a big, larger than life character and personality, or you work with, you know, different characters.
Yeah.
We work with all these different characters. It's to know them, to understand them, understand yourself first, you know, so that you can then understand others and then be understood by others, you know, because sometimes people don't understand us. They have an opinion about us, and the same as ourselves, we have opinions about other people. And if you're trying to work as a team and put a team together, or have a best friend, or have a great relationship, you know, you've got to have a harmony. You know, you've got to have harmony. So to create that, it's all about, for me, working as a family. I look at it like working as a family.
That's what I was going to say. When you say family, in your case, you do work with your family. But what I'm hearing behind what you're saying is that for you, teamwork is like working in a family. That's something that you need.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. That's the key. That's the key to success. And I don't want to do it on my own either. I've done that. I've been the CEO recently for 5 years of my own direct sales and marketing company, on my own for 5 years, making all the decisions. You know, nobody likes the guy at the top, to be honest with you. But if there's a team at the top, everybody loves each other, and it's great fun.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely with you. I chose to, from a legal structure point of view, work alone, but I really love collaborating with others. That's so powerful, and it's it's enlightening.
That's why we're partners now.
Absolutely, no, definitely. So tell us more about what's happening today, because you were referring to the fact that you now have multiple streams of income. Is that what I understood?
Absolutely. I'm a great believer. I did a lot of work with Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
You know, somebody said, you know, who are you? Of course, I'm Debbie Cameron, you know, and you only get one name. I always say that to people. So make sure you take good care of that one name that you're given. And I would say, what am I? I'm a promoter. You know, that's what I would say. I'm a promoter. And I do things, I believe, in with professional people. I like to make sure that if I'm going to do something, as I said, it's like my father taught me and told me, is if you do it right, or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's been a kind of little motto that I've always had written in front of me. You know, it's kind of there, stuck on my forehead. If you do it right, or don't do it at all. And get to the point as well. Keep things simple and get to the point. What it is you want. You know, what it is you need, what it is you want to. I think that's really a key. And what we need and what we want are two different things. We don't always get what we want, but we certainly most of the time get what we need, and that's usually a lesson to learn. You know, so I think it's a journey of lessons for all of us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's been a fantastic journey, having a great family to support me as I have always supported them now in my latter years, as I had that example given to me from my own parents and family and grandparents. Yeah.
So if I recap the elements that you referred to as being essential for you in your journey to success, and I will come back to that notion of success. You were talking about mentorship, you were talking about focus, you were talking about teamwork, keeping things simple, learning from your lessons. Anything else you would want to add there? That's quite a lot already.
You know, every level of success, it demands a different you. So it's, what do you want success in? Is it success in your relationships? Are they intimate relations? Is it an intimate relationship you want the success in? Is it a business you want the success in? You know, looking for the right people, knowing when to let go, when to move on, you know, when to say, you know, this is right, that's wrong. You know, timing is another key thing, and having good systems in place as well. Now, I always say, don't follow the crowd. It's one of my principles. It's kind of like being one of the sheep, isn't it? Oh, you're following what everybody else is doing. Well, they might just be about to run off the side of a cliff there. You know, you understand what I'm saying here?
Oh, completely. I think that is really something that people who are starting in their business, whatever the age, are quite often doing, and I did it myself. Follow what everyone is doing, and I think that is effectively a profound mistake. Be who you are and do things your own way. For me, that's essential. It did take a certain time before I understood that, but now I'm all about that. Absolutely, I hear what you're saying. So coming back to this notion of success, Debbie, because of course success means one thing to one person, and success means something different to another person. I know there's so much more for you behind it, so tell us a bit what success means to you.
First of all, success to me means having love in my life and love for my life. And I think the love for your life is the key. Because if you love your life, then you have joy in your life. And it's different, completely different to happiness. You know, you can be happy, but that can be just for a moment. But when joy comes into your life, it seems to be forever.
I love that. And I know quite a few people who would validate that.
And so I love to get around people that have that joy, because then you can enjoy your life so much more.
Absolutely.
So it's getting around positive people. For me, staying as far away as I possibly can for people that are going to drain me.
Really?
Or I mean, negativity I just can't be around. Not now, not at this stage of my life, because there's no time. You know, time is running out. I'm in that 50 plus age group, and I want to make sure that I enjoy my time with my family, my friends, and so I get that choice now to choose who I work for, not chase after who I want to work for. I don't chase, work with. I don't chase after people. I think you enjoy the journey much more when really people are chasing after you. That's what I actually enjoy more now at the stage that I've reached in my life, and I think it's really, really important to have a vision. That's the key. You know, I was brought up around a man and parents. My mother always had a vision to make a beautiful home for us and give us an abundance of love. You know, my dad always made sure that we were very well provided for. You know, we had fun and happy times. It's just near my brother. And I think it's all about building a vision. Dad was a great visionary. And so from a very young age, I always had a lot of vision too, I believe, of what I wanted. Or maybe it was just in me. I think it is in your genes, really. But you can make your life whatever you want it to be.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I believe you can do that as long as you write it down. If it's, if you've got big dreams,
Yeah, that's the difference. Dreams and vision is not the same.
Absolutely not. Completely different. And then having a purpose. I'm all about purpose and being on purpose.
So what is your purpose?
My purpose is to grow old gracefully, okay, but to die very young, very late.
Oh, I love that. And so I really love that image, that purpose. Coming back,
actually, my key. I'm very motivated and driven by purpose, and this time is my key purpose.
I was going to come back to that, because I know that there is so much more for you. And I know it's not only about you. There is so much more for you than you only, quote unquote. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, I'm
poster.
This is actually I'm involved in a project, And this is our mission and vision we have of being able to stop world hunger. And at the time when this poster was made, we'd put 100 million smiles on malnourished children, which has grown to over 500 million meals today.
Wow.
And this was a project that started in 2002. So it's absolutely an amazing project. And if anybody really does like helping other people, they can always contact me. I don't want to give the whole story away.
That's fine.
It's about creating curiosity. I always say to people, because to build a team of people to do something like we're doing here with this project, it takes time, and that really isn't really what we're doing this interview about today. And that's something else I always say to people. If you are in business and you want to build a business, clear that time with them so you can take the time and get the plan and your story over in a professional way, rather than go off track. You know, I don't want to go off track again too much, but yeah, it's very fulfilling. It's given me great purpose and reason why I love doing what I do. And I work with the most amazing people as well doing it. And it attracts the most amazing people to work with you.
Yeah,
to the effect that in 2010, I shared a week with an amazing film star called Linda Gray, a beautiful lady with a massive heart. And she said in 11 years of working with the organisations in third world countries, she'd never experienced anything like she'd experienced working with us when we were out in Malawi in 2010 together. So yeah, it kind of you have to have something in your life that's bigger than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That drives you, your reason why. It's, you know, a lot of people don't reach their goals because they don't know the reason why they want the goals.
Yeah,
and if they don't know the reason why, then it doesn't give them any motivation. So it's really important, and I think this is the reason why you need to have a mentor, you know, like yourself. I mean, I've met lots of life coaches over my years, and I really was impressed when I met you. Yeah.
Thank you.
I really was impressed. Why? Because the system you've got in place, okay? It's always about the system. Success will only come if you've got a good system in place. You know, sorry.
It's funny because it comes back basically, the systems part and everything that I do comes back to something very similar to what you referred to, is that I have, when I was in the corporate world, always been pushed towards administration systems, tools, etc., which I've never liked, but I'm extremely good at it, and I've had it my entire life with me, and now it's so ingrained that it is extremely useful. As you mentioned, that what you had learned about accounting and etc. Even if you didn't like it, it had served you. That is an aspect that has definitely served me. And coming back to wanting to help others, I know that as far as I'm concerned, my big dream around that, other than helping women go for their dreams, is to help women and children, young girls in Indonesia, to either being educated or to set up their business. Basically because my mother was born on the island of Java, so I have a story with Indonesia. And it's a driver. It's something that really pushes you, and I really love that. You know what's interesting, in fact, with you is that, let's see how I can put that. By the time you die, thank you, Agnes, young at heart and young in your body, As late as possible. I think you will be able to answer yes to the 3 questions that Brendan Burchett says are the 3 most important questions at the end of your life. Did I love, did I live, did I love, and did I matter? From what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing from you, that will be a resounding yes to the 3.
Absolutely. You know, I always say to people too, it's not about getting things right when you get them started, but it's about getting them started.
Yes.
You know, because yes, if you're gonna do something, do it right, okay? But you've got to get them started.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Action.
And when we get things started, anything we learn to do, you know, we're going to fall down. And that's why I always say mind the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first key secret is mind the gaps. How can you mind the gaps? Well, if you've got a good teacher, if you've got a good mentor, they will be there to pick you up. Like learning to ride a bike, maybe your brother taught you, your sister, your best friend, your mum, your dad. You know, they were there to put you back on the bike. Okay, until you could turn the wheels yourself.
Yeah. So always.
Like driving a car, you know, being a Formula One driver, you know, being a pilot, you know, you need a co-pilot.
Yeah.
You've got to have somebody to start you somewhere. So you've got to have those teachers. A lot of people that, like myself, didn't enjoy school particularly for whatever reason. I was actually bullied quite a lot at school. And I was happy to leave school as quick as I possibly could. You know, that was something that I grew from. You know, I wasn't a victim about it. I got on and dealt with it. You know, I could have dragged that with me throughout my life. It's about reinventing the stories in your mind a lot of the time too. Like when I was a child, I found that I was given the part of Cinderella in the school play, and you know, I thought everybody was laughing at me because I'd forgotten my words, but I hadn't realised that Jimmy next to me, his trousers had fallen down. I mean, I don't know whether that happened or not. It was, you know, but the thing is, it's about changing that story to overcome those fears.
Yeah, definitely changing the story is essential.
Yeah, because people have fears. We all have fears. Like as a child, getting on that bike for the first time and riding a bike, driving a car. Some people still don't drive a car for whatever reason, for the fears. But you know, so it's finding those mentors in your life. You know, you do sometimes have to go out and look for them.
Surround yourself with the right people, absolutely. Debbie, I'm being conscious of time. We need to make it short now. Can you tell us where people can find you?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's called Just a Great Life.
Yeah!
It's easy. So it's www.justagreatlife.com.
Great.
That's or you can actually phone me. I'm very, very, you know, I'm one of those people 24/7. I've got my phone switched on. My phone number is 0034 670 666 402. The 666 is for the little devil in me. But you know, it's fun. It's fun doing a business with a best friend. It's fun doing business with teams of people, like having a family. Yeah. We all wanted a best friend when we started out, you know, at school. We all want a family. I don't believe anybody doesn't want a family. And I believe if you treat your business in the same manner, you know, within reason, because there has to be rules and regulations. So you have to have principles and you have to have habits. And you have to have reference points too, you know, so that you can refer back to the things in your life. And that's what we do with the stories that we have in our life too. So yeah, it's all about getting around the right people, finding that mentor, which will help you to mind the gap. But, you know, when you go on the London Underground, you see everywhere, mind the gap.
Mind the gap, that's what I saw. That's typically British.
And that's because the trains changed. They got smaller and smaller and faster. So there was a bigger gap in the London Underground. You know, I know this is probably going to go out internationally. This maybe somebody hasn't been on the London Underground, but that's the reason why it was called Mind the Gap, 5 Success Secrets from the London Underground, my book. And I didn't do that on my own. I decided and set a goal. I'm quite an intense goal achiever, and I like to teach and share and show other people how they can set goals and achieve them much faster if they take care. And the only way that you can take care is to have some principles and habits that you work with on a daily basis and reference points to go to that you can teach and train people more easily. One thing my dad didn't have was time. Dad didn't have time. And the reason he didn't have time was because he was in a system that gave him lots of money and no time. It's really good to get yourself into a system that will give you time and freedom. And that was the reason that I resigned last October and found an exit strategy, because I'm a great person on making plans. That made sure I had an exit strategy. Got out of the business I was in as a CEO on my own. That was pretty lonely for 5 years. And decided to focus on what I'm loving doing right now. And that's having a fun life, building a network, working towards stopping world hunger. A very bold statement with the initiative that we're working with. And it's a business initiative I work with to do this, and some amazing people, and a $1 billion business partner too. So yeah, it's incredible. I really thank you very much for inviting me to this call today, because there's nothing more rewarding than being able to share the purpose that we have as a team together to stop world hunger.
Thank you so much, Debbie. I was just going to say, I'm like your father, I don't have the time anymore. And I know that you could go on for hours like that. You're so passionate. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one other thing I would like to recommend, because people do ask me about books. Mm-hmm. I'm a very audio person. Mm-hmm. I like to feel and see things, but more so I like to hear about things, and I listen to books a lot. But this is a book that I actually read by Robert Kiyosaki. I'd just like to recommend this to anybody who is thinking of changing their life and looking for a new business model. Okay, it's called The Business School for People Who Like Helping People. Mm-hmm. I believe you can't build anything on your own, and it's all about helping other people first. I believe very much about what goes around comes around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you very much for.
Thank you so much, Debbie. So our next guest will be on September 7th, Bronwyn Klee, who is the owner of Bronwyn Klee and Associates. And I know that she has a fascinating story to share also. So as usual, the interviews can be found on my website, www.agnesvanrhijn.com. That is ANYESVANRHIJN.com, and you simply go to the navigation bar, the WWMTH show, and Debbie's interview will be there for 1 week, after which she will be replaced by Bronwyn's interview, of course, but then the interview will be moved to the archives, and you can opt in to get access to that. And the interviews are available both in a podcast and video format, so you can either listen live or, well, not live, listen to the recording or download it, whatever is more convenient to you. Thank you so much, Debbie, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Agnes. Bye. God bless everybody.